Welcome to BlackUSA.news morning show. I'm your host, William Honolulu Jr. Join us as we explore the news and opinions that impact our community. We break down how the major stories have a very personal, local, and racial impact. No topic is off limits, but even if the conversation gets rough, we're always going to keep it real. Okay, I know that you all can see me and hear me. Let me turn down some of the feedback. All right, so how are you all doing, all my people out there in internet land? I am William Honolulu Jr., and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the host of the BlackUSA.news morning show. This is a very, very, very special morning for me because today starts off our month of Black women. And that's a really great opportunity to talk about what's happening with Black women, the roles that they play, and how they manage and navigate through all of those. It's an amazing opportunity. And you know what? Let me. I'm doing this show, and I want to let you all know that I'm doing this show as a love letter to my goddaughter. So let me just give you a little snippet of what I'm doing. Dear Shanae and Simone, as you move through life as Black women, you will have a very unique experience. In many cases, you will be asked or expected to serve in roles that weren't clearly explained, nor did you really agree to. Over the course of my life, I have met some amazing women who have navigated some of the spaces that you will encounter. I want my village to share with you their stories of trials and successes to help provide a foundation to understand your power to choose the woman that you will become and the strength that you can find in your sisters. This series of shows is my gift to you. The women you will hear from are phenomenal. They come from different backgrounds and have chosen different paths for their lives. Each represents a facet of the Black woman experience. Some of the stories may not align with your journey directly, but those stories are even more important. By listening closely, you can learn about uncommon experiences and find ways to support your sisters along your shared journey. I love you all so much, and I hope to see you soon. So, whoa, back again with that feedback. I'm gonna tell you what, I am working hard to make all this stuff work. We moved studios again because of some tech difficulties, and so we're still working through it. So I am grateful for your patience and everything. So thank you all. But today we're going to have a great time. We have Kiarra Boulware on today, and she's going to talk to us about life as a Black woman. That's the entire month. We're going to be talking to Black women about what it's like to be Black women. And I'm really proud of the fact that Black USA News has really stepped up and recognized how important it is to honor, salute, and serve Black women. So that is what we're doing today, and we're going to be very excited to do that. Kiarra is an awesome entrepreneur. She is a mom. She is a publisher. She is all of these things. And so we're going to get an opportunity to talk to her about what life is like. Big shout out on this first day of March 2022 to the super producer, Kyle Crazy Horse Morgan. He makes it so that we can, honestly, the reason that we're able to get through the studio as much as we can is because of him. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you always. But we got to talk about the people who make this possible, our sponsors. So first and foremost, thank you to Edible Arrangements, not just for being a sponsor of the show, but for having amazing food, having amazing fruit. And you all know I love it. And you all saw what I got before. this wonderful basket that was given to me by my friend Brandy. I had it door dashed all the way over to my place. So if you have an opportunity to celebrate something or you want some really good food, make sure you stop by Edible Arrangements. Their locations in Govins, right off of York Road in Baltimore County, and their location in Randallstown, and their location in Pittsburgh if you find yourself in that space, in that place. Oh, let's see what else. Oh, we got to talk about Murphy, Falcone, and Murphy. They have been protecting the rights of Black people for my entire adult life. Judge Murphy has been a staunch advocate for African Americans, for justice, for civil rights, for equality. He's been on that my entire adult life. And so I am so grateful that they have not only continued to do what they do in the community and to help people who have civil issues, but I am grateful that they are a sponsor of BlackUSA.news. So big ups to Murphy, Falcone, and Murphy. Thank you for all you do. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you are on the wrong side of law enforcement, where you feel that things may not be really going your way, what I would suggest you do is that you contact J. Wendell Gordon. J. Wendell Gordon is known as the warrior lawyer, not just because it sounds good and it's cool, but because he's really out there fighting for his clients. He is really out there making a difference in their lives. And so it is awesome to have that kind of representation for you. So if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have resources or you find yourself on the wrong side of a criminal justice issue, make sure you call the warrior lawyer so he can come out and fight for you. Oh my gosh, let's see, who are we going to talk about next today? We got to talk about STEM City USA and Dr. Tyrone Taborn and the good folks over there. We are very proud to be the first Black media company to stream in the metaverse. That is a really big deal because the metaverse is where technology is going. Metaverse is where art is going, and metaverse is where education and industry is going. And if we fall behind early on, that might mean that we never catch up. So we are happy and proud of all the work that Dr. Tyrone Taborn and his staff at STEM City USA is doing. If you haven't been to the metaverse, this is a great opportunity for you to do it. Jump over and see what's happening. Our newest sponsor, I Am Black Wall Street, a book by Donnie Glover. It is not just a piece of scholarship that reflects on what happened, the tragedies in Black Wall Street. He does something a little bit different. What Donnie has done is that he's taken a look at how Black Wall Street got started. Like what happened that got those people from the Deep South to come to Oklahoma. And he takes that trek with them. And it really also provides a great opportunity for us to think through what we could do to create our own Black Wall Streets. And speaking of Black Wall Street, here's one of my mentees and an incredible entrepreneur, Ashley Tate. Donnie honored her for all of her work in the community with a Black Wall Street Award. Oh, you know how I feel about Darker Than Blue Grill. They have amazing food. Can I just say amazing food? I'm taking a little time away and hanging out with my mama, and they don't have a Darker Than Blue Grill down here. So I can't wait to get back in the town so I can grab some food. But if you are there and I am not, you might want to stop by and get yourself something from Darker Than Blue. It is amazing. Let's see. Oh, and the last but not least, my company, The Grinding Gang. We help you take your business to the next level because it's difficult to figure out what to do in business. There's so much information. There's so many people telling you, go this way, do this, do the other. And it's like, well, what should you really do? At The Grinding Gang, we help you figure that out. We help you figure out what is in your best interest and how you can develop your business to make your interest and your needs happen. So give us a call at The Grinding, or hit us up online. The Grinding Gang membership is free. Now, everything ain't free, but membership is free. And it gives you access to a lot of templates, a lot of documents and examples, and to some of our free events. So that's what's up. So yeah, those are our sponsors. Oh, and I got another thing for you, a sponsor that is coming on board soon, Breadcoin. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about how it works or what's going to happen with them, but Breadcoin is an opportunity for individuals to invest in this thing called Breadcoin so that we can address issues of hunger. and food and starvation and things like that. So we're going to be talking a lot about Breadcoin in the future. So look forward to that. Let's see what else is going on. Today is actually also the first day of Women's History Month, but it is also the what is it? National Pancake Day. Yes. And so all of my friends out there know that this is one of the happiest days of the year for me. Normally under non-COVID times, this would be when I make my rounds around IHOP and Denny's throughout the day. But not today. I think my mom and I, we're going to just make ourselves some pancakes and enjoy Fat Tuesday that way. So that's what's going on. We are going to have an amazing month talking to some incredible Black women about what they go through and how they make it through. And we're going to start today. So big shout out to Erica Myers, who introduced me to Ashley Tate, and Ashley Tate for introducing me to Kiarra Boulware. And ladies and gentlemen, I have the pride, privilege, and honor of introducing you to Kiarra right now. Hello. How are
Hello,
you?
everyone. I am great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well. So first, thank you for joining me today. It's a really big deal for me that, and as you heard in the intro, I know that my goddaughters are going to grow up in a world that may not treat them well. So I want to make sure that they know what the world looks like by from other Black women who have been through it, who have lived life. And one of the ways that I want to start that off is just to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to people.
Well, hello. My name is Kiarra Boulware. My brand is Kiarra Writes, as I am an author. I'm a publisher. I'm also the owner of a home health agency.
Oh, okay. I
But
didn't know
most of
about the
all,
home
I'm a
health agency.
mom. Yes, that's what's recently.
Okay.
But above all, I'm a mom. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. Um, I'm a Black woman.
Okay. So let's start off. I think I'm gonna start all of them off this way. Describe what it's like to be a Black woman in 2022.
Um, I feel like in 2022, being a Black woman is so confusing, if I could choose one word to describe it, because you have to be strong, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to be sensitive. They want you to be happy, but you're also busy. The things that bring you the most joy are some of the things that probably stress you the most. So it's like you are very confused in your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Amongst facing racism, you're also facing sexism.
Mm.
You're expected to be a certain way as a woman. You're expected to be a certain way as a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that often leaves us confused about how we actually feel or what we should actually do. Um, because we're so busy trying to live up to the standards that are set for us by people who aren't Black or even women at that.
Hmm. So, so tell me a little bit more about these roles that you find yourself in. I know you talked about being a mom, being an entrepreneur, and how people try to fit you into these boxes where, oh, you're a woman, so you should behave like this, but you're a woman, so you should also behave like that. How do you
Right.
find, and so first, thank you for that. Thank you for that. That is one of the things that I have seen, and I'm so glad that you started off talking about it that way. So, what how do you end up in roles that you didn't sign up for? Like I know that that happens a lot to a lot of my female friends and things, but how do you end up, or how have you found yourself in those situations?
Um, by trying to do what society says is right. So for instance, I'm a writer. I've always known that I was going to be a writer.
Mm-hmm.
I've always known that that's what I wanted to do as a career. But my family, who has never been to college, was like, no, once you finish high school, you're going to college. You will not be going to college for English. You're going to college for something that matters. You're going to have to make a difference in this world. And now I'm $46,000 in debt with a college degree that I don't use.
Mm. So it these kind of family and social
It's like
expectations. Oh, I'm sorry.
it's like not just family, but like society set these standards, and sometimes we're forced to believe that if we don't follow those standards, that we have somehow failed or have fell
Mm,
short of the bar.
mm-hmm,
When in reality, everyone's bar is unique because nobody's story is the same. So this
mm,
uniformed standard that they have is really impossible for anyone to meet because they'll say, "Oh, she went to college. She was on an honor roll in college, and this is that and the third." But college is what mostly papers, essays, things like that. Things that I'm good at writing. So that didn't mean that I had any interest in what I went to school for. I just was good at what I already knew I wanted to do in the first place, writing.
right, right. So how do you manage that though? Like it really seems like it's a big deal. Like these people have created these expectations for you, or society has created. Well, actually, let's take a step back from there. How did you find out about some of these expectations that you thought were created for you?
Through trial and error.
Okay.
While perfection is idolized, it's unrealistic. So of course you're gonna make mistakes. You're going to go left when you're supposed to go right, and making those mistakes. So for me, I found in making those bad decisions and spending money unwisely, being financially irresponsible, um, being
So
a single mom. Like
so all
in
of
those things, I found um, like the true life lessons, like the true happiness of life. But so had I went or walked someone else's path or the path that was expected for me, I I may not have been able to learn those things or to find what makes me happy because I'm always or would have been always doing what someone else wanted me to do.
okay. Because have you ever been in a situation where you have a question and you know you have a question and it's good information, but you're trying to figure out how to word it? Um,
Yeah.
because you talk about the situations that you were in and how you got there and some of the things that you've learned about yourself along back to these societal roles that you've been told that you are supposed to play. Like I really want to find out, because if those are roles that you were told or encouraged to play that you didn't need to play, well, that means that might be happening to other girls as well. So where did you the societal things, I know some of them were presented, but how did you really think, like college, for example? Let's stick with that one. Why did you really think you had to go? Was it just your family saying that, or was it the
Um,
social pressures and everything like that as well?
even in school, it was like I have an older sister, and when she finished high school, she went on to
Hmm.
be a hairstylist, and she's been successful. She's never had a 9 to 5. She's a salon owner now. She's a multiple salon owner. She has other businesses, and it's like no matter how much she proved that you didn't have to go to college to be successful, our family, our society, our teachers will always like, but what if that fails? But what if that fails? But what if this doesn't happen? You have to have something to fall back on. So to not go through that, I think how stressed she was, um, how depressing it could be with our family, um, like not being as supportive as they should have been,
Hmm.
by her deciding not to go to college. And honestly, I went because I didn't want to go do that.
You say that again?
I didn't think I was emotionally strong enough to deal
Mm.
with it as she had. Um, I saw the toll it took on her mentally, because she felt alone or by herself. And like I have always been codependent of my family, so I never wanted to experience that feeling. I never thought at that time that I was strong enough to stand on my own like she did. So I was like, let me just go to college, do what they want, so it's not such a big deal. Only to finish school and just still not be happy.
Mm. So, so you had this example of your sister who opened her own salon,
Mm-hmm.
but you thought that you wouldn't be emotionally strong enough to follow in her footsteps. Is
Right.
that, I just want to make sure I'm clear. And
Yeah.
then you went with the default option that everybody presented when you don't know what else to do, go to college.
Yep.
Okay. So what happened as you were growing up that got you to believe that you may not be strong enough to really chart your own course?
Okay. A lot of my followers already know that I was a teenage mom.
Mm-hmm.
My son passed away, but instead of people uh, comforting me or being
Mm-hmm.
sympathetic, they were like, God gave you another chance at life. And I'm like, so much for a pat on the back, like, you'll be okay. I didn't receive those things. It was like, God gave you a reset. But I was still mentally grieving. It actually wasn't until I was grown and seek grief counseling on my own that I was able to actually work through those feelings. And instances like them making me go to college or encouraging me to go to college, um, I felt like I didn't have a voice or I didn't have a say. Not
Wait,
just
say that
with,
last part again.
I felt like I didn't have a voice or I didn't have a
Mm.
say, not just with my family, but I can have a conversation with my teacher who was like my biggest supporter, but she really wanted me to go to college. She just wanted me to go for English because she like, you can continue on from there with anything. But that wasn't acceptable to my family. They felt like, what can you do with English career? What you gonna do? Be a teacher? And I'm just me not being. I feel like me not being supported as a kid in my most uh, trying situations or my most on the times I need to support the most, I neglected to even think that it was possible in any other situation.
Mm.
So I always opted for the option that caused me the least grief, that wouldn't upset everybody else. Um, Especially like my grandmother. My grandmother raised us. So it was just important to her for us to go to college. And then it became a pressure because everyone after me was like, I'm doing my own thing. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you do. But I'm doing me. So while I was in school, she's like, "Oh, I'm
You're
so
gonna be
glad that
you.
you listened to me and went to college." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here, but I'm not in your grandma." But it's just like, I don't know. I felt like by that time, by 17, I had already been a disappointment enough with the things that I had done before that I'm just like, let me make up by doing what they want me to do.
Okay. So this sounds like a lot of backstory. Like you know how like every hero or every whatever there's this backstory that gets them into their superpower. So it sounds like this might be the part of your backstory that led you to writing. Would that be safe to say?
I can't hear you.
Oh, I was saying that I don't know what the hell is going on here. Let me see if I can switch some stuff up. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust some things, making sure. Is that different? Better? Is this better as a speaker? I mean, as a can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
it's
you
just
hear
like an
me?
echo, but it's fine. I can hear you better.
There's an echo. I hate that. I don't know why that's happening. It's so annoying. Oh. Um, we're gonna get all of these technical issues resolved one day. It's gonna be so amazing one day when we get it all resolved. That's the thing.
It's fine.
The cool part is that I have the monitor up, so I know that the people on YouTube and Facebook can actually hear us, even though we seem like we're having trouble hearing each other. So one of the things that I was saying was that writing seems to be something that saved your life. Like all this led to you finding your voice. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When I wrote my first book, when I published my first book, I had probably already written 6 or 7 books before that, but I
Wow.
never wanted to, um, because it was just therapeutic. It wasn't. I didn't believe that it could be a career anymore. Like I believed wholeheartedly that I had to do something different, that it wouldn't pay off. Never mind the fact of how many writing contests I had won, how many poetry contests I had won. My grandmother would come to all of my poetry recitals and she'd be like, "Oh, you are so great," but it was never enough to make somebody believe that it was enough to be a career. No matter the fact that I graduated school in 11th grade because of my writing abilities,
Mm-hmm.
or on a roll in college, it just was like writing is not a career.
So
And
what made you think that wasn't true anymore? Because I'm grateful that you figured out it wasn't true.
let me tell you, I went through a breakup that was so embarrassing that I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk to a single soul. I didn't want to tell anybody um, how stupid I felt, like believing the one thing that I could give any woman, but especially Black women, is like you are not alone. You are not unique in your situation. Someone that's gone through the same thing that you've gone through. And I had no idea until I published my first book. And
Mm.
everybody was like, "Oh my God, me too." And I was like, "For real?" And they'd be like, I remember when I first started doing interviews for my book, they would be like, "Is this a real story? Is this about your life?" And I'd be like, "Girl, no. I could never." And it was like, I remember I did a speaking engagement, and it was at that engagement that I told the truth. They like, "Yes, this is something I experienced," and like that was my best engagement because it was like I was being real, I was being authentic. I was taking accountability for the part I played in my own heartbreak, and in that I was able to encourage somebody else. So it was like, let me write this book. My friend like, "Girl, make it a book." Publish the book. I published the book, and it was like amazing the support that I got. I
Mm.
never expected it. I was like, I wrote the book. I only ordered 50 copies of the book. Those 50 copies was gone the day I put that the book was on sale. And I was just like, okay. And then it wasn't until my third book that my grandmother was like, "Okay, maybe you can be a writer." I'm like, "Yeah, you would say that $47,000 later." But
So you were able just by doing it, like you went out and you wrote and you were able to find your voice. So this didn't start off as your business entity. It sounded like it
no,
started off more about therapy for you, like trying to heal yourself.
absolutely. Absolutely. It was like, but I've always written for healing because it was a lot of us. We only had my grandmother, we and my grandfather. Like my grandfather worked a lot. My grandmother had all of us to juggle. So it was like I'm in the middle. I don't find that the oldest ones was responsible for the little ones. It was like the middle ones was just stuck to
Right,
figure it
right.
out. Too young to hang with the old ones, too old for the little ones. It was a lot. So writing became my resource. I would be like, I will never forget. I had a third grade teacher. She was my teacher in the fourth grade team. It's called. She gifted me my first journal, and she was like, when you feel like you can't talk, just write. Because like I would go to school and I would cry, and nothing would be wrong. I would just want attention. And she'd be like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she like, "Nobody just cries." And I'm like, "I am just crying." And she was like, "No, you have some things on your heart that you just may not feel like talking about. Just write them." And I used to write so big, and I probably filled the journal out in like a week. And I was like, "I need another journal."
Wow.
And she was
Wow,
like,
a week?
she said, baby, we gonna buy you some composition books. And she did. She would have bought me 5 composition books. And I've never stopped writing since then.
Wow. Wow. So let's also talk about your community engagement, because not only do you write on your own, but you also encourage others and publish their works, right?
Yes.
How did you get into that?
So I met a guy. I went to Atlanta for my birthday in 2016. And I met a guy who we went to, it's called, they have a event called Bonfire ATL, where like artists come and they perform, and they have all these vendors. It's very Afrocentric. It's very nice. The vendors are always like artists and craft makers and things like that. Make them, and it's all free. The only people that have to pay is like the attendees. So he was writing. He was sitting there and he just kept saying the same line over again. And he was like, like getting frustrated because it was on time for him to perform. And I'm like, hey, what are you writing? And he was like, trying to find a line for this song because a line that he had wrote before was attacking somebody that he was no longer in a dispute with. So he was like, I don't want to say it. And then it started back up. And I was like, well, why don't you write X, Y, and Z? And he was like, you a rapper? I was like, I just know what sounds good. Like, I know how to appeal to my audience. So it was like, and he wrote it. I mean, and he went up there and he rapped it like he had practiced it forever. And at the end, he was like, uh, uh, who the girl who helped me write this, don't go nowhere, I want to talk to you. And I was like, come on, I came out there with this time. I came out for all that. But afterwards, he got into, can I write his, he was like, can you help me write my story? I've been working on this book for a long time, and I just can't get it to come together. And let me tell you how far back this was. I mean, how, like, oblivious I was to anything. I charged this man $700.
You said
I
you were
probably,
oblivious to what? Say that last
I
part again. I'm
charged
sorry, I
him,
missed it.
I charged him $700, which would have, but the services that I provided would have very much been worth probably $7,000.
Right.
But it just felt good. Like, so when he published and he had his book signed, and he like, kind of my book signed, I'm like, no, that's the goal of a ghostwriter. They're not supposed to know I wrote it. It's your book. It's your story. That's what you paid me for. And he was like, no, I really want you to come. So we flew down. We went to his book signing, and he gave me $5,000. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this.
I bet you that changed the dynamic. It was like, okay, you know what? This is pretty cool. I like this.
Yeah, I can do this. I was like, it was just amazing. And I asked him, I'm like, if I help you do your next book, can you help me with marketing? Because he had already made $10,000 off his book before his book signing. And I was like, what? He like, so many people wanted to know my story. It just, I didn't know how to tell it. He was like, you have an art of storytelling. And I was like, and then it was off to the races from there. He would call me and be like, this person need a book. That person need a book. Do you do prints? This person need prints.
Right.
Where should I go for this? This person is coming to you for this. And from those people, I met people. And I've always been like, oh, I'm going to move to Atlanta because like, that's where I get most of my business from. But like, I work through the computer. So I'm, I'm fine everywhere. Right. But I was very grateful for like meeting him. And I don't feel like anything happens coincidental. Like, I feel like you are always where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And I was happy that I went because at the last minute, I decided that I didn't want to go. And my friends were like, girl, we're going. But I had never been on a plane. And I was like, I'm not getting on a plane. I don't want to go. And I'm so grateful that I went because my first book probably would have been my last book.
Wow.
Because I didn't feel like writing no more after I got it off me. It was like, okay.
So you found your way into your business not looking for business. It wasn't like you set up, was like, oh, I'm going to set up this publishing company. It's like you were living your life. You were healing.
Yep.
and you saw an opportunity to help somebody, and that help turned into a whole business line. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, yes. He like, you're going to be a publisher. I'm like, no. That part is a headache. That part is a real headache. It's very beneficial, but it's a headache. I'm very tedious, and you got deadlines you got to meet. You got copyright stuff out. It's a lot, but I had to learn to love that part because writing is my first love.
Right.
So publishing it took a while for it to grow on me because you can't, even though I'm the publisher and I can say this will look great like this. If a person say no, I want it like that, you have to do it like that. And then when they come back and say, why does this look like this? And they're like, because you didn't take my suggestion to do it like that. And then we're back to square one. It's a lot, but I've never had any issues with ghostwriting or those services because it's like I pay attention to people. I'm a people watcher. I tell people I learned that from being young. My grandma would be like, y'all can go, but don't say nothing, don't touch nothing. So you learn to just like pay attention to different things. And and being nosy helps. Because like
say the last part again.
The things that other people probably wouldn't see. But that's that middle child, that middle child syndrome, being nosy.
So I have been having a little bit of issue hearing you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull you out and then put you back into the stream real quick. All right. How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you, but it's still a little choppy. But it's okay. We're gonna make it work. I every time I think I've gotten 3 new computers, so I'm beginning to wonder if it really is the computer issue. But this is one of the things that happens in business. You start business, you think everything is going to go a certain way. You have your book written, you think the marketing is going to go a certain way, and then real life happens. So talk to me about how you have managed to navigate through the real life purposes or the real life pieces where you have a plan, you execute the plan, but then life says, that's cute, but hold my beer. How have you gotten beyond that so that you can keep pushing forward?
Repeat the question.
How do you push forward when things go wrong?
When things go wrong?
Yes.
Okay. So first off, I pray. I want to pray over every difficult decision or anything that I make. So prayer always comes first. Because I find that, like, once I pray inside myself, it gets a little easier to get through. I am, like I already said, tedious. So once something is not right, I'm automatically irritated. But I make sure not to convey my irritation to my client or, whoever I'm working with, because like that's a part of the job and that's a part of one of the things I have to take on. Like while I am great at writing, I am not great at marketing. So when I've learned that when people ask me, I'd be like, you have to find somebody else help you with marketing because I am not that person. I go prime example. I'm glad you asked that question. I made an announcement once that on my second book, the date that it was going to be released. Now, while that was fine because the book was done and the book was published and the book was printed, that was fine for me to have that release. The book was. I had my second book release with no books. They didn't ship to me in time. And so I had this big event where everybody is expecting to get a book while they're there. And I'm irritated because the book didn't come. They're irritated because they had a book release with no book. But we made the best of the situation. I feel like when things go wrong, it's best to just be honest. Honesty is my best policy. I pray, hey, so how to got me through the situation. I'm honest. I ended up being able to, ship the books to everybody, but I know I'm that customer sometimes that wants what I want when I want it. So I also look at things from the other person's point of view when things go wrong. Like, what if I was in their shoes? How would I want to be
Hey, Kiara,
communicated
I'm
with?
sorry, but like the connection this morning is so incredibly god awful. Like I can barely hear anything you're saying. I am so sorry. And it seems like it's fire because I'm looking at your body language and you getting it. Like I can't hear you. And honestly, this is kind of we gonna work this out though. We're gonna work this out. Um, yeah, I hate when tech goes bad. I hate when tech goes bad. Um, so I'm pretty comfortable that people can hear you, just not me. So I'm gonna ask you some more questions in the chat and see what we can do from there.
Are we saying romantic relationships or any relationship? Because my most important relationship is with my daughter. So uh, God first, her immediately after. Um, her dad and I had um, a complicated relationship, but it's so important because I believe that every black child should have two parents who work together effectively for their best interest. Um, and that is one of the things that we struggle with as a black woman is having situations that we have to deal with. I have to deal with her dad, no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling or what I'm feeling. I still have to be effective and respectful in that relationship as the for the benefit of her. Is that easy? Not at all. Is dating easy? Not at all. My daughter does not love anyone but her dad and does not see anyone for me but him. It's not gonna happen. But that makes it easier for me because I know what type of I guess what type of man to look for when it comes to her. I mean, her approval because her approval is needed. But I don't really date right now. I have a fresh home care agency and I kind of date that. So my work takes up a lot of my time. And I guess that's
Right.
the best for everybody right now in this situation. But when I do date, I feel like someone who understands entrepreneurship is like the biggest aspect in
I'm hearing
relationship.
like every fifth word.
That can make or break any relationship. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, William. I can hear every fifth word. Oh man. Every one of my fifth words or William's fifth word.
So I don't know if you can hear me, but I think that we are going to have to uh, wrap up the interview, and then I'm gonna fix the technology. We'll get back to it again.
Okay.
Sorry, I think we had a great at least the most of the
It's
conversation
okay.
I heard.
It's
It was a
fine.
great conversation.
I understand. It's fine.
All right. Kiarra writes, we'll also put up your contact information so anybody who is interested in getting their right on can hook up with Kiarra and make their dreams a reality.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Kiarra.
No problem.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, another tech issue, but we're going to work it out. I am grateful for you all for working with us and sticking through. So tomorrow we will have Stephanie Jerger as part of our month of Black women. Yeah. Thank you, Kiarra, for a lot of insight. So again, what I heard sounded wonderful. And I'm looking forward to hearing more and us rescheduling with Kiarra so that we can make it happen. Yeah, this is real life, and sometimes real life does not work out the way that we had anticipated. But you know what does work out the same way? That we will be Black tomorrow.